Praise be to Jesus. Pope Francis's new exhortation was released this morning. Francis contradicts previous popes. Immigration issue just as important as abortion. In his lengthy exhortation released this morning, Pope Francis chastised those who would see abortion as a more important issue than migration. Some Catholics consider immigration a secondary issue compared to the grave bioethical questions, he said. That a politician looking for votes might say such a thing is understandable, but not a Christian. The Pope decries the harmful ideological error of those who dismiss the importance of the social engagement of others, such as in immigration or service to the poor. He criticizes those who relativize these issues as if they are other more important matters, or the only thing that counts is one particular ethical issue or cause that they themselves defend. Our defense of the innocent unborn, for example, needs to be clear, firm, and passionate, he said, but should not supersede the defense of the poor or migrants. Well, what immediately struck me about this is here the Pope is speaking about relativizing issues when he himself has allowed the relativizing of sin. An example of this is in the booklet Cardinal Wuerl wrote for the parishioners of his diocese in Washington, where he says, this is from an article in LifeSite News, March 6, 2018. Priests are called to respect the decision made in conscience by individuals who act in good faith, since no one can enter the soul of another and make that judgment for them. As Pope Francis teaches, quote, we have been called to form consciences, not to replace them, unquote. Also from the article. This slippery passage suggests that if someone living in an objective state of serious sin feels that according to his conscience he may receive Holy Communion, then priests should respect that. Well, I have some thoughts here, and I've written them out, and I'll read them to you. According to this line of thinking, a person is to use primacy of conscience in making the final decision as to whether or not they can receive Holy Communion without going to confession. Although a person's conscience can be well formed, no conscience is perfect, and so a mistake can be made. When putting the primacy of conscience above church teaching, one can convince oneself that they did not commit a sin, whereas previously they considered an occasion of particular words they spoke or actions to be a sin. When a person uses their conscience as the final say in determining whether or not they committed a sin, they open the door to Satan, who is always trying to convince us of his lies. Also, when that person what that person previously considered a grave sin and went to confession before receiving communion, he can now discern to be a venial sin, therefore in my circumstances, or no sin at all, and receive communion. Under this papacy, relativizing issues is wrong, but relativizing sin is okay, and I have a question mark there. This is, just my own line of thinking about this. If someone thinks I'm wrong about comparing apples and oranges, you can leave a comment for me, and I'll talk with you about it. But it really seemed, I mean, that's really what struck me. So I decided I just speak what I thought there. Well, I'll leave the link to the article and to the exhortation if you want to read that at the end of the video and in the description box.